Power of plants, disease, and depression. What does all that have to do with each other? Well, first off, are we the healthiest society the world's ever seen? No? Well, we spend the most on health care. Well, first, you're going to find out, and this is really frustrating, that who we go to for health care, okay, the guys in the white jackets, they're not really taught methodologies to understand that health is the natural state. And the disease is from deficiency or toxicity. See, disease, and this is, I'm glad you're sitting down, because this is knock you over. Disease doesn't exist. Go on, say, wait a second. Okay, good. What does diabetes weigh? Anyone? Bueller? What does cancer look like outside of the body? What does high blood pressure look like in a box? Oh, so these things don't exist outside of the body. Okay, so now first off, let's look at this, because we're going to talk about enzymes. And this, you may know a little bit about them. You're going to know a lot more in just a really short time. First off, there are ways to go in, help a chemical reaction, okay, and then leave that chemical reaction without changing themselves. Now, there's 5,000 that we know of exist. We think there may be about 10,000 enzymes that we haven't identified. So we're talking thousands and thousands and thousands. So now our government is sinking tons of dollars in research to find out how health is. I know. No, they're not. Okay. So anyway, to find out how all the enzymes work and their intimate interactions, it's going to take a long time until our government gets more health-oriented, or instead of funding chemical research, we actually fund life. Now this, multiple types, what we're mainly going to talk about is digestive and metabolic enzymes, because that's huge. Now, have you ever heard of an aspirin a day for a healthy heart? Okay. Well, now your body, and we're going to talk about how you reverse disease. It's a sea of metabolic processes. So if you build your body up faster than it breaks down, you stop aging. If you build your body up faster than you break down, you reverse cancer. Okay, now what's interesting, the aspirin a day for a healthy heart, not only is that no longer recommended, okay, but if you ever see somebody with bruising everywhere in their arm, go up behind them and say, hey, are you in aspirin therapy area? Yeah, they will. Because what that does, aspirin seems, it slows down metabolic processes. It doesn't thin blood, okay, that's ignorant. It slows down metabolic processes, weakens blood vessels, and then a small injury like that, it'll bruise. What's interesting, back in the 30s, they used aspirin for canning. Why? Because it stops the enzymatic processes in the canning and stops bacterial decay. Yeah, don't use that, by the way. There's better ways to can. So when you look at this, enzymes are all proteins. Okay, they're not all proteins are enzymes, but enzymes are all proteins. And what happens with this is you can consider an organic catalyst. There's things that help enzymes called vitamins. Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah.
Okay, good. But now look at this. Vitamins help enzymes. But if you don't have the enzymes, you can't utilize the vitamins. So it doesn't matter if you're supplementing. If you're supplementing and you don't have the raw materials, you can't utilize it. And now we're going to talk about a couple of them. There's dozens of them. I mean, well, 5,000 of them. Lipase is for fat. Lactase is for milk, sugars, peptides, proteases to digest proteins, amylase is starches. Now, all of these are produced in different areas of your body. You know, the protein enzymes are going to be produced in the gut. The salivary enzymes are going to digest starches. That's in the mouth. So pretty much anything that ends in ASE. Now, we solve a huge number of gastric reflux problems, GERD problems, people throwing up all the time, okay, even if they've been doing it for 20 years. And we do it by restoring the natural body's functions. Good. This one's clear. And it usually takes about 30 days. The problem is, and you're going to find out, if you have indigestion, okay, what happens to the food? It goes up instead of coming down. Okay, that means you're not processing. It means you're not breaking down the nutrients. So now, is that a lack of acid or is that a lack of digestion? Lack of digestion. Yeah, we've known it for 50 years that it isn't lack of acid or too much acid. I mean, that's just stupid. So the people that are passing out the little purple pills to help with digestion, they're completely ignorant about the natural body's functions. So we're going to talk about this. Now, We recommend enzymes. Now, when you're looking at enzymes, we're going to start carrying a special brand, but look for 3 factors on enzymes. Make sure it's vegan-based and raw, make sure it's organic, okay, and make sure it's complete, where it has enzymes to digest protein, fats, and carbohydrates, or starches. The problem is, if you've had long-term reflux, you want to avoid any enzyme with protease in it, because that can actually burn the stomach and make it uncomfortable. But luckily, it takes us about 30 days to regrow the lining of the stomach, so within a month you can use regular enzymes. Now, cancer. What does this have to do with digestion? What I like is Deepak Chopra. More people are making a living off of cancer than dying from it. Have you seen those little cute ribbons, the little pink ribbons? Now, the people that do the walks, that do the runs, by God bless them. Okay, their heart's in the right place. They're doing, I mean, if you could save a life in here without costing yours, would you? Raise your hand. Well, okay, you would. Okay, you would too? Okay, just checking. Okay, well, yeah, everybody would. We're all on the same planet. Of course we would. The tough part is the money they raise goes to fund the pharmaceutical industry. And we know that 95% of cancers are preventable. So if we know they're 95% are preventable, why don't they stick their money into prevention? Oh, that would make sense. And you got to figure, this right here is a cancer cell, that big guy. The little guy there is a TK, a killer cell. That's produced by your body. It looks like an unfair matchup, right? Yeah, but it's unfair the wrong way, okay? See, this goes on 10,000 times a day. That little killer cell attaches to the cancer cell, blows through it, leaves it in its wake, destroyed. And you produce 10,000 cancer cells a day. That means you kill 10,000 cancer cells a day. This means your body is a cancer fighting machine. This is normal. This is what it does. So cancer anywhere in the body has to do not with some weird genetic thing. Cancer is not genetic. Okay, that's ridiculous. And according to the new, anybody watch TV? Yeah. Have you heard of the Gardasil vaccination? Okay, now they're saying cancer is an STD. Cancer is not a sexually transmitted disease, okay? We shouldn't vaccinate young 12-year-olds, okay, even though our governor thinks we should. So this here, cancer, your body's designed to fight it. So any type of abnormal cell growth isn't a problem with the cancer, it's a problem with the immune system. So you're going to see this pattern repeated. So cancer is a problem, defect in the immune system. It's not a war against cancer. It should be a building up of the immune system. So when you look at this, Gerson, these guys have been fighting cancer for 80 years. They say, and this is brilliant from a direct quote from Charlotte, before the body can deteriorate into cancer. Wait, before the body can deteriorate into cancer. She doesn't say catch it. She doesn't say genetics. She says before the body breaks down and develops cancer, all the body's defenses have to be depressed out of balance. If your pancreas is working properly and you have adequate pancreatic enzymes, you can't develop cancer. Okay, you want to say it with me? Wow! Oh my gosh! That's like the scourge of the world. Okay, in our world, okay, cancer doesn't exist in some countries, but in our world, you know, 5 out of 6, 50% of our population is going to get it. 5 out of 6 people are dying of heart disease or cancer. So if she says that if we have a healthy pancreas or healthy enzyme usage, we don't get it. Holy moly. Okay, now look at this. Now this is really important. This is a picture of your intestinal tract. And what happens is you got a stomach that comes down here. It loops around after the stomach into this C-shaped thing. That's this here. That's called the duodenum. Now the pancreas, I know, look at this, fits right in. Isn't that amazing? It's really intelligent design. The problem is, though, the gallbladder and the pancreas drain through the same hole. Now, this gallbladder is connected to the liver. So now we talk intimately about this in digestion, but if you start thinking about this, pancreas has everything to do with fighting cancer. Pancreas also regulates blood sugar. Pancreas also helps digest proteins. And both the pancreas and the liver drain through the same hole. So that means anything that negatively affects the liver, or the gallbladder, or the blood, because the blood gets filtered out through here, changed by the liver into bile, and then secreted out there. So now we got to start looking at it. Anything that's going to negatively affect the blood can increase cancer. Anything that's going to negatively affect the liver can increase cancer. Anything that's going to negatively affect the pancreas can increase cancer. Okay, can you see this? So instead of saying, wow, you have breast cancer, or wow, you have colon cancer. It's wow, you got a defect in the blood or the pancreas or some other. Because breast cancer is not a problem of the breast. Okay, so there's a radical different way of looking at it when we look at the natural body processes. Does that make sense, yes or yes? Yes. Okay, good. So I'm going to give you the answer, too. I'm going to make it really easy. Okay, now, metabolic and digestive enzymes. You got to figure metabolic, it's for detoxing, energy production, fighting disease. Digestive enzymes, these are going to be how you break down things. So you got to break down, in order to rebuild your body, you got to break down the proteins to amino acids, you got to break down the carbohydrates, okay, into the sugars, you got to break down the fats into the fatty acids, and then when you break it down into that, then you could rebuild the cells. And how many people rebuild their system? You better all raise your hand. Okay, your skin's only 28 days. Your blood's 120 days old. Your bones are about 6-7 months old. So your body is a sea of metabolisms. So anything that helps this process strengthens your system and reverses disease. So now, since we've got this crazy world where the FDA is actually not, they were what were the original name? FDA, what does it stand for again? Food and Drug Administration. Okay, so they're responsible for getting a safe drug system and a safe food system. Yes or yes? Are they doing a good job or a bad job? Yeah. Bad job. They need to be fired because we now have a metabolic syndrome. Now, metabolic syndrome, since we're talking about metabolism and looking at metabolic enzymes, it's linked to 75% of all diseases. It says if metabolic syndrome is present, we're talking about high lipids, that's high fats in the blood, high sugars in the blood, high proteins in the blood, high triglycerides in the blood. Now, on this sheet that you have here, this is healthy living on the front. It means good food, bad food. But what's more important is what the Fraud and Deception Association, Fraud and Deception, I'm sorry, what was the FDA again? Food and Drug Administration. Okay, yeah, it's okay. Now these are, and what does it say on the top? Poisons used for food additives. Now do you think that's a misprint or do you think I really meant that? You see, in order to have a box of food or a can of food or a bag of food, something that lasts for a long time, you got to remove the digestive or metabolic enzymes because you don't want bacteria attacking it. So we're taking out the digestive enzymes of what most people are eating. Now, since you take out the enzymes, you've got to make it taste better. So they came up with this neurotoxin. Okay, brilliant neurotoxin. I mean, I can put it on the worst piece of meat that you've ever imagined. I mean, this came out of a sick chicken. It's been dried, it's been frozen, it's been breaded in genetically modified bread. And then I can toss it in some canola oil, which is, again, that's also genetically modified. And then I can give it to you with the sauce. And the sauce, the chicken, the breadcrumbs, and the sauce all have a neurotoxin in it. It's the same toxin, or it's actually a neurotransmitter that stimulates your brain, the pleasure sensors. So the same pleasure that you would get from riding a bike or you know, doing anything joyous, you know, hugging your sweetheart, you know, whatever you want to do that's joyous. You take that bite and you get the same pleasure sensors. Okay, doesn't that sound good?
For 99 cents.
I think you get 12 of them. Yeah, okay, we're talking about chicken nuggets. Okay. I mean, there's tons of them, but when you look at a package, look at these things. See, the Fraud and Deception Association approves these different names. So if you're looking on no, there's no MSG. There is barley malt flavorings, whey protein, yeast food. Okay, all of these masquerade as MSG. So we got neurotoxins in there, so what's that doing? We got enzyme-devoid food, we can't get it, so our body's breaking down, so then we call it metabolic syndrome. That's ridiculous. So I want you to change your view of blood tests. No longer do you look at the stupid little levels and the stupid little rates that they have, the little normal comparisons. Okay, no body is exactly different. What we need to do is compare yourself to yourself. So in the future now, when you see high protein, you don't say kidney disease. You say, wow, there's undigested proteins. Your body's taking in more proteins than the kidney can handle, so it's not a kidney dysfunction. It has to do with the metabolism or metabolic processes of proteins. If you see high fats in the blood, it doesn't mean that it's heart disease or stroke risk and we force the lipids. It's a problem of processing the fats. problem of lipid digestion. High sugars. It's not diabetes, okay, or some type of weird disease, because diabetes doesn't exist outside of the body. It's going to be a problem of undigested sugars in the blood. See, your blood, if your blood is healthy, okay, your body's going to be healthy. If your blood's sick and toxic with fats or sugars, you die early. Does that make sense? Yes or yes? Yes. So the health of the blood denotes the health of the body. I mean, that's more important than anything. This is our future. This is what we all should be. When we're 90, we should be taking dance class, okay? This is the sad reality today. I mean, the average person over 65, I think they're on 28 prescriptions. I mean, that's ridiculous. You know, you don't do this. Health, and this is health, is your body builds up faster than it breaks down. Sickness and disease is your body's breaking down faster and it's building up. That's it. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, so anything, if you go to a healthcare professional and this healthcare professional says, we're going to strengthen your immune system, by God, that's a good idea. If he says, wow, you have XYZ disease, or you have high blood pressure or high blood sugar, take this and your blood pressure and sugar will show better on my machine, fire him. Fire him. Because that is not healthcare. That should not be done. Because every medication slows or stops the metabolic process. Wait a second, now think about this. Every medication slows or stops the metabolic process. Metabolism is your body building up. So if your body's building up faster than it's breaking down, you got health. If it breaks down faster than you build up, you got disease. Okay? And what does every drug do? It breaks you down faster than you build up. Does that make sense? Yeah. Good. Oh. It drives me crazy. You got to figure, I see like 250 people a day. And they come in and they say, yeah, my doctor gave me this shot. He gave you a shot. Yeah, he gave me a shot of cortisone on my shoulder. This was this afternoon. And I said, oh, okay. Recover. Okay, do you know that cortisone shot shrinks the swelling of the tissue, it decreases cartilage production, and it's going to rot out the joint? Did he give you any drugs? Yeah, he gave me some Motrin and Advil. Okay, so this guy you went to with the shoulder pain gave you a drug that inhibits prostaglandin production, so now your shoulder can't regrow the cartilage. She said, yeah, you know, it's a little sore, but it feels there's less pain. Okay, that's not healthcare. Then you got this. Approved by the Food and Drug Administration, the standard American diet, 90% of what you get is processed. This means enzyme devoid. I mean, you take in nutrients, you can't break it down. You can't rebuild your system. This is a great study out of Irvine. Okay, now if food was actually labeled the way it should be, okay, we shouldn't be taking poisonous stuff. This should be labeled not for human consumption. And if you love your dogs, don't give them, here, look at the fine print. If you love your dogs, don't give them this either, okay? It should say that. But this right here, children who ate, and this is out of UC Irvine, who ate 3 hot dogs a week had a 10 to 12-fold increase in leukemia and brain tumors. Leukemia and brain tumors. That's 3 hot dogs a week. So should it be criminal to have hot dogs in schools? Yes or yes? Yes. Absolutely. Who approved this? What idiot's running this? Okay. Oscar Mayer has a first name. No, that's my bologna. But I mean, you got to figure, when most of us were eating bologna and hot dogs, it was not out of a hormone-laden, genetically altered beast, okay? This thing maybe ate some grain, but it wasn't loaded with the stuff that these kids are eating now. And that's 10 to 12-fold increase. It's 10 to 12 times. It's not 100%, that's only 2 times. So this is 1,000 to 1,200% increase in leukemia and brain tumors. So when you see that pink ribbon, are they having big signs that have a hot dog with a red line through it? No more hot dogs in our schools? That would be effective. Yes or yes? Okay, now, so we talked about cancer. We see that it's maybe a problem with metabolic processes. Now, depression. There is an epidemic in America. Epidemic. Now, this is incident per 1,000. We're not talking total episodes. Now, back then, we're talking about 1% of the population had some type of mental disorder back in 1955. Okay, 1%. Now, it's about 30%. Now, if you have a 1% incident of a disease and it all of a sudden jumps up to 30%, do you call that an epidemic?
Yeah.
I would. Okay, so this is mental illness. So let's start looking at this. Now, this is standard care. This is the side view of a normal neck, and this is a patient that came in. Her name's Sherry. She has no curve in the neck, but she comes in. She's taken 9 different prescriptions for, I think it was 6 years. Yeah. 11 prescriptions for 9 years. 11 prescriptions for 9 years. Now, how would you get this? Now, every medication, what does that do? It slows or stops what? Metabolic process. So every medication slows or stops the metabolic process. So she's taken 11 of these. Do they ever study 2 medications together? No, of course not. So she comes into a doctor with pain. So they give her what? Pain pill, pain reliever. Okay. Now she's got muscle spasm because her head's forward and her body's trying to reposition it. So what are they going to give her? Muscle relaxant? Good. That's a central nervous system toxin. Now, should these medications maybe upset her stomach? Prevacid. Okay, she'll have 24 hours of relief. Okay. Now, since they're upsetting her stomach, she's taken 3 pills. Do you think she may have trouble sleeping? Ambien. Okay, now she's taken 4 pills. She still feels bad. Do you think she's happy or sad? Prozac. Okay, now, so what, these guys go to school for this? Okay, so she comes in, 11 medications, memory problems. If I was taking 11 pills, okay, you know, fibromyalgia that's supposed to be incurable, and then you toxify the blood. Remember, the health of your body is the health of the blood. So you got this thick blood, this thick poisonous blood going in your system. What do you think that pump's got to do? It's got to pump harder. So high blood pressure, what do? Oh my goodness, you got high blood pressure, we're going to lower that. So does that help oxygen in the entire system? Or it's like, my gosh, this is healthcare? She comes in within 30 days, she's drug-free. Okay, within 90 days, she gets the curve back. She's cured of fibromyalgia. I mean, for goodness sake, this is respecting the human body. It's brilliant. We don't do anything other. This guy, he's so smart. Linus Pauling, you might know him as the vitamin C guy. He won the Nobel Prize twice. That is so hard to do. I mean, Obama won it once, but this guy won it twice. Okay, twice. Now when you look at this, he coined the term orthomolecular psychiatry. And what he found, he would get severe schizophrenics off of these drugs and back functioning in society by giving them the nutrients they were missing. He found out that brain function is intimately involved in what you put in the body. Oh my gosh, how could that be? Well, let's look at this. The little purple pill, 24 hours of relief. Okay, this is also approved by the FDA. Now the problem is, and if you take an acid in there and you decrease the acid, remember your stomach's designed to break down nutrients. So if you're breaking down nutrients, you can't get the nutrients, so you start to get nutrient deficient. You know, like scurvy and other things. Well, they say that you magnesium deficient. That's all they're looking at in this one. Because if you're magnesium deficient from this, muscle spasms, irregular heartbeat, seizures, okay, risk of cognitive decline, your brain doesn't start working correctly, so this is mental disorders, DNA, type 2 diabetes, all from the little purple pill. Okay, yes, I understand, okay, you got reflux, but now you take this pill and you're going to feel better. Okay, yes, I know now you got cardiac arrhythmias from it. That's okay, we're going to give you a beta blocker. It's okay, it's okay. Oh, I know you got muscle spasms. It's okay. This is healthcare today. I got to tell you, 20 years, maybe 50 years max, they're going to look back at this time as, my God, that's the dark ages. How did they tolerate this stuff? Plus, when you look at this, serotonin. Have you ever heard of the antidepressants? You know, if you're in the know, and you're any nurses in here? Anybody know how an antidepressant works? Or you're afraid to raise your hand? Okay. And when I talk about depression, no, it's serious. It's true. Because somebody will say, yes, I know how an antidepressant works. It's a SSRI, a selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor. And I say, yeah, that's what it says on the advertisement. The problem with that is that's not true. When you look at the clinical pharmacology, the actual mechanism of action of selective or antidepressants, it says mechanism of action is unknown. I don't know how this works, but we think it does something with serotonin. And serotonin is like a feel-good hormone, so here, try it. I know the side effect is suicide. Well, she's not buying it. Okay, but when you look at this, serotonin's produced in the gut. We're talking over 90%. So does this mean somebody comes in there, they're depressed? Are they on the standard American diet? Do they have appropriate metabolic processes going on? No. So should a thorough digestive history go on? So we send them to the health expert. How much nutrition do medical doctors have? 0 to none. Wait, 0 is none. Okay, 0 to none. Okay, I like that. Yeah, they're not really up on there. Now, look at this. Serotonin affects mood, memory, ability to learn, appetite, arousal, aggression, sleep. I mean, serotonin levels affects the brain function. So this means the gut affects the brain. We even call it this. We call it an enteric nervous system, or the gut brain. So if the gut is healthy, the gut has appropriate metabolic process, the brain is healthy, the immune system's healthy. Does that make sense? Okay, so does disease exist, or is it just from deficiency or toxicity? Does cancer exist, or is it just from deficiency or toxicity?
Deficiency or toxicity.
Oh, say yay, sister. Okay, that's true. Okay, now we look at this. Now, these guys, I loved Michael Jackson's music. I did. Okay, and this guy, Heath Ledger, oh man, he's done some great movies, but neither one of these guys we get to appreciate anymore because they're both dead from medical care. What's tough is this is Michael Jackson's leg. It's hard to see, but it's like a sore in the leg. Now, poisonous blood, you're going to start noticing symptoms down in the leg, the first, because that's the furthest distance away from the heart. So you're going to notice gout, you're going to notice ulcers, you're going to notice diabetes in the furthest point. Now, he's got a major ulcer going on there, and that's because of toxic blood. Toxic blood. That means his body's breaking down faster than it's building up. Can you see that right there? Okay, because my skin's breaking down and it's building up. Okay, every 28 days it's brand new. His is breaking down faster. That means he's got poisonous blood. Now, here's problems with low cholesterol. You go into somebody that says you got high cholesterol and take it. Let's say problems with low cholesterol. Blood sugar problems. Okay, that means blood sugar goes up. Swelling, mineral deficiencies, chronic inflammation, allergies. So cholesterol, if it's too low, your body starts to break down. Low cholesterol linked to depression. Wait, are they passing out pills to raise cholesterol or lower cholesterol? I forget. What are the commercials? What's the biggest selling drug in the world? The first drug to cross the $10 billion mark? The one that put pharmaceutical on the map? It's statins. Okay? I mean, they kill people, and it's a theory that it clogs arteries. Cholesterol doesn't actually clog arteries, so it's ridiculous. But by gosh, what a way to put something over on the world. Okay? Now, so we got cholesterol is produced, and that's from a defect in metabolism. Stages of acidity. This means your body can't break down stuff. So you got poisonous blood. Low energy, irritable bowel syndrome, acid, fibromyalgia, hardening of the arteries, cancer. So when we look at this, what causes acidity in the blood? High fructose corn syrup. Again, this is a toxic product that's in the body, devoid of enzymes that your body can't break down. It looks at this stuff, it doesn't know what to do with it, so it typically stores it in a fat or it breaks it down. Now, this is the high fructose corn syrup usage in the red. This is diabetes in the white dots. Now, is it linked to diabetes? We don't know. We just know that it's linked to high blood pressure. So when you go in with high blood pressure, does the doctor do a thorough diet analysis and say, wow, you drink Diet Coke every day, or you drink soda every day, or drink Mountain Dew every day? These can negatively affect your body? Do they do that? No. What about this one? Now this is fun. If you have high blood pressure, is that a disease, or is that your body adapting to smaller arteries or toxic environment? The body's adapting. It's not a disease. Is blood pressure in this country the exact same as it is in Europe? No, not at all. In Europe, they don't even, in France in particular, they don't even lower it unless it's over 180, systolic. In England, it's 100 plus your age, and then it's not that big of a deal. In India, if it's below 140, they consider it pathology. So the world view of blood pressure is not universal. Okay, so when you go to the doctor and he says, it needs to be 120 over 80, you 85-year-old hunched over person, okay. No, that's not true and unscientific. But this says, beta blockers and ACE inhibitors, of course, enzyme inhibitors, okay, remember, enzymes are a metabolic process. If you use these to slow down the pump, to slow down blood pressure, you're going to die an early death from heart disease, cancer, or diabetes. Is that rampant in our system? Hugely rampant. Okay, now this is tough because when somebody says, here, take this blood pressure pill, it'll lower your pressure, When you get that pill, doc, is this going to make me live longer? No, you're going to die early, but you're going to have lower pressure. Okay, is this going to save my brain? No, no, no. You'll have more cognitive decline. You're probably going to have some kidney damage, but your blood pressure is going to be lower. We're not asking the right questions. Antibiotics, again, non-steroidal anti-inflammatories. These inhibit metabolic processes. You're talking a massive increase of Hodgkin's lymphoma. Again, that's just Motrin, Advil. Daily aspirin, ineffective. Why? Because it slows the metabolic process. See, all of these slow metabolic processes. This is a sea of metabolic or digestive enzymes and metabolic enzymes. This is alive. Anything you put in your mouth is going to become you. No, I don't want to eat organic. It's too expensive. By God, I'm worth it. Okay? I don't want a genetically modified hot dog at Taco Bell. Okay, that's 6 for $1. Okay, this right here, your body breaks it down and it utilizes it. The problem, though, is if you're over 40, you take it in, you have to break it down in your mouth first, because there's an actual process here. You got to break it down with your teeth. That begins the digestion. If you're over 40, you absolutely, absolutely, absolutely have to supplement with some type of digestive enzyme. And what are you looking for in a digestive enzyme? It's got to be raw, it's got to be organic, it's got to be vegetarian or vegan. Okay? And if you've got an acid reflux history, you got to have no protease in there. Okay, that's vital. But without this, you have to change your diet and lifestyle. This one here, I mean, this is out of the American Journal of Epidemiology. 1 serving a day of vegetables decreases cancer risk. So little pink ribbon, are they funding broccoli? The Broccoli Council? No, they're funding chemotherapy and radiation. Oh, God, wait a second. Wouldn't it be better to stop cancer first? Okay. I mean, we're talking just one source of this. When you look at this, 1 serving of vegetables reduces heart disease risk. Wait a second. 5 out of 6 Americans are dying of heart disease or cancer. Is the government subsidizing the cattle industry or subsidizing the vegetable industry? Is our government helping us or hurting us? Okay? Enough is enough. This is just ridiculous. When you look at the facts, this one here, this is the vaccine schedule in 1983. Kids before 5 got 10 shots. This is the vaccine schedule as of 2010, 38 shots. Now, okay, now wait, don't be cynical, okay? Now something happened back in 1986, and this is kind of cool. 1986 rolls around, and the government, because the vaccine companies, they knew that the stuff they're injecting can cause problems. I mean, not many, just a few deaths, a few paralysis, a little bit of blindness, some chronic degenerative conditions, and some cancer. Okay, but you might not get chickenpox. So we knew these things would cause problems. And the vaccine companies, they're getting huge settlements. I mean, $15 million for paralysis. We're talking $8 million for this. And so they were saying, hey, man, we're backing off of this vaccine production. Well, since the producers of the vaccines fund our government for the political campaigns, we couldn't have that. So what we did is we passed a law in 1986 that it exempted all vaccine manufacturers from having to be put up with those nasty, silly lawsuit things. Okay, so now it went from 3 companies making vaccine to 8 companies making vaccine. So that means that there was a huge market available. Wait, did I say anything about health? I didn't say one thing about health. Did I say vaccines are involved in health? No, this is huge profitable. This is a market. There was no disease rates. There was no outbreak of disease. But now, back in 1983 and 2010, what's the childhood cancer rate like? What's the childhood asthma rate like? What's the childhood, I mean, this is unsteady. We're going to go over that more on the 15th. But you take this, is there any enzymes in that food? No. Is there neurotoxins in that food? Yes. Now add to this kid probably had an ear infection, so he had a couple of antibiotics, 74 shots, and then he's in line to get 30% of his siblings, diabetes, depression 20%, asthma 14%. Heck, 14% of America's children are in special needs. We got to stop this. So ways to break down nutrients to reverse disease. This includes depression, cancer, and diabetes, heart disease. This is the key to getting your system working right. Juicing breaks down the plant fibers. It pre-digests it for you. And then you take digestive enzymes with it, you're guaranteed to get the materials to rebuild your system. Does that make sense? It does to me too. Also cooking, to save the enzymes in the food. No microwaves. Okay, they're good for heating hot packs. You don't want to put food in there. You don't heat food more than 118 degrees. In fact, there's a great restaurant called 118. Has anyone ever been there? Oh my gosh. Okay, the vegetarian lasagna, thin slips of zucchini just heated. Oh my gosh.
Apple pie.
Oh, the apple pie. Okay. Really good, couple miles away. But you're going to find out there's a lot more natural restaurants that don't heat it over 118 degrees. So cook food slow. Raw dairy is enzyme free and it's very good. It's illegal in Florida. Okay, but it's legal in California still. Raw meats, make sure they're healthy meats, healthy animals. Okay, soaked organic grains. Okay, which is juicing. If you've ever gone to an organic and get raw rice, you're never going to have a better dish. Okay, it's just soaked and soft and delicious. And Carol, 77 years old. She had high blood pressure. Stopped it within 45 days. Now, blood pressure medications, do they help metabolic processes or slow metabolic processes? Okay, if you're 77, do you want to rebuild your body slower or as fast as you possibly can? Yeah, okay, if you're 51, you want to build it as fast as you possibly can or slow? Okay, you know, if you're 17, 18, you want to build it fast or slow?
Faster.
Okay, good. Okay, good. So we're all in agreement we want to get healthy. She did too. Stop the drugs after 45 days. This, okay, Edward, 54 years old. Does that look straight or horribly bent? He fell 10 years earlier. 10 years earlier, he fell. He says, yeah, my neck's a little stiff. What do you think his doctor wanted to do? Shoot him with a drug. Give him a pill. And he said, you know, this has been going on for 10 years. I'm kind of sick of it. I'm going to get the problem fixed. And so we fixed it. But also, his metabolism normalized, his digestion normalized, his blood pressure normalized. Everything started to normalize on him. Does that make sense? See, we approach the human body with intelligence and respect. Okay, not with, we're going to give you a drug to cover up a symptom. That's ignorant. To keep healthy, you need to get your nervous system checked. That's primary. That controls everything. You need regular exercise. Absolutely. Proper nutrition. Does proper nutrition mean whole, organic, fresh, and healthy enzymes? Yes or yes?
Yes.
Okay, so you now understand nutrition, what you put in your body, it's a spiritual thing. The reason that a lot of religions pray over the food, two things: to thank God or whoever put it there, okay, and also to realize that this is a spiritual process, that food's going to become you. Does that mean that we should buy more healthy organic? Yes or yes?
Yes.
Okay, good, just checking. Okay, sufficient rest, because this is when your body really does rebuild itself. Does this mean that every sleeping pill will break your body down early? Yes. I mean, absolutely, it's just sick. Prayer and meditation, vital for rebuilding. Now, to get checked in our office is expensive. We're one of the few corrective chiropractors. Gesundheit. It usually costs us around $275. We have a fall special that's $25. Now, this includes a detailed consultation, posture analysis, a drug search. So that means you bring in every supplement, every pharmaceutical product that you have, and then we do a search for it. I tell you what it affects on your body, what it's depleting from your body, and if you can, how to get off of it. If you have to stay on it, we tell you what it's depleting so you can, make it do less damage. If I feel you need an exam, we're going to give you an exam. X-rays, we're actually going to give you a digital copy of the X-rays that you can take home with you, okay, and a report. And if I feel, or like this gal here with 2 bones that are racked out of place, you even get an adjustment, all for $25. Does that make sense? I know, because we're all on the same planet. I mean, we're all third from the sun. We're related somewhere. We got to help each other. Now, my sister Lori's in the back. She has coupons, and you can take as many as you want. Okay, now all of these are recorded. How you see it, how you get a copy of it, you go to YouTube, go to John B. Cairo, and type in any subject. We have nearly 300 videos so far. So you want to learn how to reverse arthritis or nutrition or anything, go to John B. Cairo, YouTube, it's right there, or come by my office and I'll give you a copy of it. Okay, any questions?